Okay, this is not. Why this is not working here? Should be able to. Oh, it's too much. All right, so we're here waiting on persons to get in and join in on the webinar. We have started, so I'm just going to give it a little time for persons to join me. In the meantime, I'm grabbing my water. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for persons to hop in and for us to get started. From the time the first person comes in, I'm going to get started on the topic. Yeah. So waiting on you guys. Let's see what's happening. Yep. All right. So I hope everyone is okay and doing what they're supposed to do, being responsible. I see I was out yesterday and some persons are still being irresponsible with their actions. They're still congregating in groups, smoking and liming, as we say in Trinidad, you know. They're just carrying on as usual. I don't know. I spoke to a friend yesterday and he said something to me that made me wonder. He said their response, their attitude and behavior is probably counterintuitive. It's just their way of, I guess, being scared, dealing with the fear of being alone at home if they're alone. So they prefer to be out with persons than being isolated at home. But with that sort of attitude, you're putting people at risk. You're putting yourself at risk and you're putting others at risk. And then a strain on the national resources. That's unnecessary. Yeah, so today we're talking about personal responsibility, not just about the virus, because we are bombarded, not to make it sound negative, but meaning that we are getting information sometimes by the hour and as needs be by the relevant authorities. And so it's not that we don't know. We know what we are supposed to do in this time of crisis. But I want the conversation to be focused today on taking responsibility for your future. We have no control over anyone else's future. You only have control over yours to a certain extent. And I want us to be able to focus today on and to discuss today about taking responsibility for your future. Hey, Ricardo. Hi, nice to see you. I hope you're hearing me. Could you let me know if you're hearing me and seeing me well? Yes, and Ricardo is making the point about the community can help. His neighbor asked him if he needed anything in the grocery. Yes, that's, you see, the thing about this thing is all these diseases, what I've realized, it is sending us right back to basics. Oh, oh, the video is buffering. That will happen sometimes. Once you're doing these live sessions, that will happen. So I'm trying to speak as slowly as possible because I speak rather fast. As I was saying, these diseases, no matter what form, shape, size, magnitude it takes us back to one thing, love. One thing, as far as I see, in my opinion, it takes us back to one thing, love. Love of self, love of mankind, love for one another, and just being our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper, and looking out for each other. And by looking out, it means loving to the point of, as they say, social distancing, because you love the person that much. You want to see them another day, another month, another year, another 10 years, another lifetime. And if you want that, you want them to be around in your life, you have to stay apart. And it doesn't mean that you cannot communicate. I think in the whole processing of this virus, this pandemic, as it were, people are processing the instructions that they are told as, oh, I can't do what I was accustomed doing. You can. You can still call a friend. You can still text a friend like we do. And I wanted to start off today with actually being thankful. I always start off with gratitude. With anything I do, I'm always in a gratitude mode. And let's start off with that in order for you to get the point that I'm saying, and which is also relevant to taking responsibility for your future. But let's start with, because to take responsibility for your future, you have to be grateful for what you have, not focus on what you don't have. And what do we have, just to name a few, and you all can add to the list as you go along. I'm thankful for being here, still being able to talk to you. I don't have any symptoms as far as I see, and from what I've been reading and watching and listening. I am thankful. I'm thankful for taking care of my body, for listening, for taking care of my health. I'm thankful that I still have internet, which is the crux of many of our businesses, especially mine. I have been operating online for many, many, many years. So this whole change of mode of work, and we'll talk about that in another webinar in the series this week, it's not new to me, but it seemed to be a sort of shift that some people just cannot, I don't know, internalize and process, but I'm used to it. So I'm used to the isolation. I'm used to working from home. I'm used to working virtually. I'm used to managing teams. So I am thankful for the internet, um, to be able to still continue my business and do my business and talk. So you can still talk. I'm talking to you. I'm still having well, you're hearing me on audio, you're seeing me, I'm not seeing you, but there are ways in which we can see each other. So I still have internet, I still have light, I still have water, and I have food. Food to be able to carry me through. Groceries are not locking down. All the essential supplies that you need are still there. I'm still having a good night's sleep. So far, my family is in good health. I haven't heard of anything yet. I'm still in communication. And what I have been doing is reaching out to people. This is a time for us to reach out in our busyness that we had before. Some people just feel great about saying that they're busy. I think it's a a way to feed their ego. That's just my opinion, and whatever I say here is on my opinion. To make them seem self-inflated and important. I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. I'm never busy. Let me just tell you, I make time for everybody no matter what time. Somebody calls me in the middle of something, I never tell somebody I'm busy. I stop in the middle of it. I may say, listen, depending on the deadline, once I see the time, I listen to the person, because you just don't know what that person may be calling to tell you at that point, and they just needed to talk to you. They chose you and they needed to talk to you. So I am never busy. I make time for people. So now is the time where you can make time for others. You have the time, clearly, because you're not at work, you're not at school. So you have the time, and you have the time to do a lot of things that you didn't have the time to do. So like I was saying to somebody, and a number of people, you have been given the time at home, a number of things that you wanted to do. And this is all part of the discussion of taking responsibility for your future. In my opinion, again, it cannot be that you were home at day 0 or day 1, whatever you wish to call it, day 0. This is Corinne at day 0. This is Ricardo at day 0. And at day 14, they give us 14 days. They say that's the incubation, although from what I've been listening, people are still carrying the virus in them for more than 14 days. But let's say 14, 21 days. Let's say you're home for 14 to 21 days. And you are still at point 0 at day 14 and 21, meaning you have not personally grown, you have not grown professionally, you haven't done anything to say that at the end of the 14 or 21 days, you have done something or a number of things to make you shift from this point to that point. It cannot be. I just cannot understand that. It cannot be. You are supposed to be, if you didn't plant the seeds before, now is the time to throw those seeds. Plant those seeds in yourself. Start changing your mindset, paradigm shift. Who is Corinne at the end of 14 and 21 days? Who is Ricardo at the end of 14 and 21 days? It cannot be the same person. Your whole personal and professional life is supposed to be different. And different in a good way. You know, when they say 10x your business, triple X your this, 1x your that, you are supposed to be 10x, 5x, how many x you want to add? You are supposed to x yourself, multiply who you are today in the next 14 to 21 days. And the thing about it is that you have such an opportunity. In every crisis, there is opportunity. You just need to step back and look at it. What's the opportunity I'm given? I'm given the opportunity to get to know my children. Take responsibility for that. I'm getting the opportunity to understand my husband, my wife. I get the opportunity to do the things that I didn't get a chance to do. Read that book, write that book, create this, make that, do a course online that I didn't get a chance to ever do. Now I have it. It's not a matter of sleeping more or being lazy. That is not 1x in, 5x in, and 10x in. That is no x. So, right? That is minus, okay, on the scale. So, taking responsibility for your future, especially now where persons are, instead they're spending time criticizing, pointing a finger. This is not the point a finger session. These webinars are not the point a finger session, because as I say, when you point a finger, the other one is pointing at you, the thumb is pointing at you, and 3 others are pointing back at you. As a matter, it's 4. It's these 3 fingers and the thumb. Yeah. So it makes no sense blaming, shaming, or guilting anyone. This session is to help you to take responsibility for you. For you. Trinidadians, and I'm a Trini, bold and proud, okay? Even though I've lived abroad for 21 years, I lived in Jamaica for 21 years, but I am a Trini, true and true. So when I say this, it's not to offend my people. I love my people and I love people in general. We are comfortable, okay? A little too comfortable. And we need to get uncomfortable. And when you start to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, you need to get uncomfortable again. In other words, step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone and do the things that will challenge you to make you a better version of yourself. Take responsibility for your future. You see, I keep repeating it. No, you cannot call or blame anybody else for where you are. Where you are is based on the decisions you made. Whether yesterday, years ago, this morning, where you are. I cannot blame anybody for where I am. It's based on the decisions I made. And you are given an opportunity today to change those decisions if you don't like where you are, if you don't like what's happening to you. So businesses never thought about putting things in place for a crisis like this, because why? We never thought that a virus would reach us. We never thought that death would reach us, our door so closely. We never thought about having our workers work virtually. We never thought. Why? Just like with September 11, they never thought two planes would have flown into a building and crash everything. You never thought a tsunami would take over in the east. You never, I mean, come on. So we are in the what if mode here right now. We're in the what if season of our lives. It was always there, you know. The thing is, the what if was always there. You just didn't want to consider what if. You just didn't want to. You put a blinker, you blocked, you're like, I don't want to hear that. And there are people who behave like that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. No. You are in the what if season. And if this is not a wake-up call for you to start being creative about the way you do business, run your household, run your life, manage your people, manage yourself, whatever it is you're doing, you have to think of the what if. I don't want to even throw a spanner in the discussion now, but I'm still going to throw the spanner. Here's what the spanner is. I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine who is in cybersecurity in the US, dealing with the internet, a lot of network stuff. What if? I mean, a lot of us rely on our WhatsApp, our phones, data. You know, without our phones, it's like we will die. And I was in the era, not to make myself sound old, because I'm not, but I know of the rotary dial where you dial like this and it takes you forever just to call one person. So without our mobile phones and our tablets and whatever it is, devices that you're using, it's like you're going to die. No, you're not going to die. What if internet just goes? What if? Everything is just going to shut down. Why? It's like, you know, it's like you're wired to your phone, you're wired to everything, and it's like, I can't function. Wake up, people. Wake up, wake up. What if we're in the what if season? Take responsibility for your future. Don't feel that your spouse is going to be there all the time, or the breadwinner of the family is going to be there all the time. Anything can happen. We don't like to face these things. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to bring it up. A disaster, I remember when I was living in Jamaica, I looked into a disaster plan because I did business, I'm certified as a business continuity and risk manager, which means that I am qualified to be able to help persons or businesses think of the what ifs and be able to put a plan in place and be up and running. The thing about it is you must be up and running. You mustn't be down for long. If you're down, let's say you're down for a few hours, but you're back up again in no time because you have a business to run, you have money to make. Now, it doesn't mean to say that all the features or the services that you offer may be able to be up and running, but over time and quick time too, it can be phased in as quickly as possible. Hi, Nichelle, welcome. It's great to have you, right? So with business continuity and risk management, you learn to have a plan in place. So I remember, I don't know if it's still there, you can probably check it out. There was on their website, ODPEM in Jamaica, a disaster plan for families. So just as how these agencies, and don't leave disaster planning to agencies, Ministry of Communication, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Security, be your own Ministry of Security, be your own Ministry of Health, be your own Ministry of Communication. What is the chain of command in case something happens? Who is going to be next if something happens to you? Who is in place for that? No, I guess this is why insurance companies are there, but you have to have an internal plan. You have to have an internal plan. Don't rely on insurance. Insurance is doing one aspect, but you have to have a plan. So they had a plan online, and once I will check on it after this webinar. I didn't check on it before, but I remember downloading that plan and looking at it and putting things in place, because at the time, well, as a woman, I'm like that. I'm just planning, and I'm always thinking the what if in the family. Upon the death of a loved one, upon the death of a breadwinner of the family, death, accident, anything at all, you must have a plan in place. Don't be comfortable to think that this person may be working for a company. Look at Petra Trin. Some people are still reeling from that. They just can't get over. I mean, how is that? How is that? Take responsibility for your own future. Stop looking for the government or your neighbor or the Ministry of Community Development, whatever it may be, or your partner. Stop looking at somebody else to do it for you. It's for you. It's for you to take responsibility. Thank you, Nishal. He says, very knowledgeable information I'm sharing. Thank you. I hope it resonates with you and you can share it with others. So it's you must take responsibility for your future. It's your future. You know, this is Corinne's future. I cannot carve out a future for Ricardo, who is here. I cannot carve out a future for Nishal. I cannot carve out a future for anyone else. It's my future and what I want it to look like, what I want it to be. Should anything happen to me, this is what I have in place. We have to have a what if. What if the internet goes? How am I protecting my data? Everything on my laptop. How am I protecting? Now I'm saying all of this, and it's don't get the impression that I have it all in place. It's a work in progress, but I have been doing it. I have been doing it. You have the cloud, send everything to the cloud. Whatever, some people are afraid of the cloud. Don't be afraid of the cloud. You're afraid of the cloud, but here's what's worse: losing all your data. If you don't have a phone or you don't have data, what you going to do? Old school still works. There's a reason why I guess that phrase sticks around. Old school still works. Have a backup, even if it's old school backup. Your diary with all the names of your contacts, or Google has it now that whenever you add a contact, it's loaded in the cloud. But still, if something was to happen to Google, so it's like, who is guarding the guard? Who is the security for the security? Right. This is just what it is. What other things do you have in place? There are some people, no money is coming into them. I'm not working. I don't have work. How am I going to get paid? It's not like monthly paid persons where they may be guaranteed that their job may be secured, although there's no such thing as security anymore. What do you have in place? Are you looking at having a side business that would allow you to still earn an income? It could be selling chicken. People need to eat. It could be seasoning. I don't care what it is. And something that allows you to still be able, considering the situation that's happening, the health crisis. Look at, you can't reach the people, but delivery still work. Using the TT post, using courier, finding some way to get your products. So you have to think of that. What can I do that would allow me to still reach my customers, still collect payment from them, still interact and engage with them? They're able to communicate with me, I'm able to communicate with them, and I'm able to get my products and services to them. That's the main thing. Because once somebody pays for something, they want to be able to get it. Once you have that in place, you're good to go. You're good to go, and the best place is online. And we have 3 webinars. This is the first of the 3. where another one, we're going to be talking more about that whole thing about work. I don't want to put in all the 3 webinars in this one. This one is focusing on you taking responsibility for your future and putting things in place. On the other webinars, we will focus on work and evolving. The second webinar is about engaging your customer base. That's tomorrow at the same time, 3 p.m. Trinidad time. And the one on Friday, which is March 20th, will be on evolving in the opportunity, because we need to evolve. We need to evolve. I mean, the animals got it right. We are not on the highest part of the totem pole here in the kingdom of the animal kingdom. We are not at the top people, it's the animals. We're actually at the bottom as far as I'm concerned. And we are supposed to be looking at the animals and learning from them. They are smarter than we are. I'm sure they're going on with their business, because they're probably looking at us right now in this crisis and saying, look at them, going crazy. They're probably laughing at us because they have things in place. They know what it is living out there without knowing what tomorrow will be like, what will bring. They build their homes, right? They build their homes, the little animal homes, and they come back later in the day and it's all washed away. What are they going to do? Huh? All their babies gone, and it's all washed away. What are they going to do? They have no internet. They have no phone, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. But they survive. So please don't throw your hands up in the air and like, oh, I can't make it. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, I can't survive. What do you mean I can't talk to people? What do you mean I mustn't come out of my house? Get a grip. Calm down, relax. I will tell you a story yesterday, because I've been inside and, you know, it started to get to me a little bit, even though I'm used to remote working virtually and online and everything, but I needed just to get some fresh air. And I will tell you, the sun is really, really good for this virus. And I even heard an elderly couple that I listened to, who are still in Japan in a hospital because of the virus. And they said the sun is very good for it. Just taking a walk out in the sun, spending some time bathing in the sun and getting the fresh air. You know, the virus just can't survive in that. It's good for your health, you know. So I took a walk out yesterday and just took some fresh air. And when I started to feel like a sort of panic attack started to come on me, I don't know why. These things happen. You don't know what your body has a way of just listening to the mind. So what you really need to target is your mind. And I point here, not that your mind is here, but we always envision our mind is here because our brain is here. So we feel our mind and our brain is in the same place. This is not your mind. But yes, we perceive that our mind is up in here. Because I guess that's where the voices are and you hear all the voices. But do what you must. If you need to go out, and I don't mean go out and interact in a group. I mean, you have your gallery or your veranda or your porch or your garden. Just spend the time being out there. Spend time with nature, not people. Spend time with nature and just get back to who you're really meant to be. And these diseases are really forcing us to go back to basics. As I said in the beginning, go back to love. Loving yourself, loving one another, mankind, your sisters, your brothers, your neighbors, everybody. Treating everybody with respect and be, you know, compassionate. This is bringing compassion, asking you to be compassionate and really to do the right thing. I don't know why it is so difficult for people to do the right thing. It takes so much more effort to do the wrong thing. And it takes very little effort to do the right thing. But yet, people still find it difficult to do the right thing. Interesting. So if we all take personal responsibility for our future, which of course is related to this virus, and also personal responsibility for our professional future and the legacy that we want to leave for ourselves and for our kids and our family, we need to start doing things differently. Put things in place Don't think that the way that you're doing it now is the way. There is always a better way of doing things, always. You just need to sit back, take yourself out of the equation and look and even ask questions. As I said, the internet is there. Google, look at what others are doing, learn from them. Don't feel your way is the way or the only way. There's always a better way. Create that way. You are home for 14 to 21 days, however long it will be. We don't know. That is just a start. Let us be responsible. Put a plan in place. Don't think that the traditional way of working is the way. Don't think that however you have been conducting your affairs is the way. There's always a better way. And you don't, to me, need permission, or you don't need to broadcast the ways that you want to do what you need to do. Test it out, try it, see how it works for you, and put it in place. You don't need anyone's permission. Everything is online. I mean, there's a rise in e-commerce now. I would say a rise in e-commerce because people clearly don't want to come out and, and interact and congregate. So there'll be a rise in e-commerce. We have to be careful even being home. Like I was mentioning to a friend, even a rise in pregnancies may happen because people are home. This is not something to joke about. This is real, and I had to mention it because people may find other forms of entertainment that while they're home. So please be careful with that. So, because we don't know 9 months down the line if this virus will still be here, and you don't want to expose another human being to it or expose yourself, because pregnant women are also vulnerable, very, very vulnerable when they're pregnant. So don't take that risk. I just had to mention that as a woman. So please take the necessary precautions. So there are a number of different opportunities that can come from this, as well as non-opportunities. I don't want to call it anything negative, but I'm asking you to really take responsibility for you and what you want in your life. Really take responsibility for your future. Put things in place. You can check out the Jamaica ODPM's website, ODPM, I think, .gov.jm, gov.jm, and see if a disaster plan is there. Look at it and customize it. Nobody's saying that it has to be that, what the template that they provide you, if it's still there, that you have to use it as is. You customize it, and you can have several different plans for different situations that may come up, crisis situations that may come up. At my company, LaFont and Associates, we offer crisis management services. We offer content development. So I have been seeing persons looking at going online, like if it's new, but it's not new, like I say, to me, because it has been around for many years. And I actually did my research paper many years ago on this whole idea of working remotely, which by then, years ago, almost 20 years ago, it was like far-fetched. Nobody could understand or relate, and they didn't want to relate anyway. So persons who are discussing things like ebooks and creating online courses, and I'm a dancer. Now people are suddenly shifting to doing things online, and I'm like, this was happening all along. Why didn't you do this all along? And we also offer business coaching at LaFont Associates. So persons who want to transition into having an online business, discussing it, looking into the options, feel free to contact me. Just go to LaFont and Associates. It's the same link that you went on to register for this webinar. So you just go on there, look at the services, and feel free to contact me. There is a contact us page that you can use, or my phone numbers are also there. I have 2 phone numbers, one for Trinidad, one for the US. So persons are free to reach me. And of course, persons who know me on Facebook, you can feel free to whether refer or contact me. So I am easily reachable. Or you just put my name in, Corinne Lafont, and you can find me. I'm easy to find. Yes? But we have to start changing our mindset, changing the paradigm, changing the way we think. Because if you don't change the way you think, then your actions are not going to follow. You have to change the way you think so your actions can follow. I'm going to say that again. You have to change the way you think so your actions can follow. And those actions are going to, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a challenge because you have been programmed to do things a particular way all your life. And now you're telling your mind to do something differently. It's a resistance. What do they say about habits? It's hard to break, yes, but only if you tell yourself that. And it has been said that it takes 21 days to break a habit. So you have the opportunity for 21 days with this virus to change your habit. So make that as one of your personal responsibility to change a habit over the next 14 to 21 days. I challenge you to do that. Take responsibility for your future by changing your habits, changing your mindset to do the things that would allow you to 1x, 2x, 5x, 10x the person that you could become in 14 to 21 days. I want you all to look at yourself in the next 2 to 3 weeks and say, wow, I am proud of the person I have become as a result of this virus. Don't be the type of person to be worse, to be cussing this one, to be 10x at it, it's like a disaster. It's like making the crisis, you're feeding into the crisis. Don't. Use it as an opportunity. Use it as an opportunity to grow yourself into a better version of you. Take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for your future, because the seeds that you plant today can determine the great person that you can become tomorrow. Plant your seeds of greatness and don't jump on the bandwagon. In Jamaica, we have this term called bandwagonists, where you just, anything that goes, you just jump on it. Yeah, people talking this, you jump on that. But no. Don't be a bandwagonist. Know who you are, know what you stand for, and don't be jumping on any and every or any bandwagon. You must be on your own bandwagon, leading that wagon for your future. Because that bandwagon is going to take you to places you don't want to go. Yeah. So I want to open it now for persons who may want to ask any questions. If you have any, please have questions. Don't let me be the only one talking. So please have questions. So Ricardo and Nishal, I see you're on still. We're hoping to get some more persons in here. If not, that's okay. This webinar is live and it's going to be posted out for persons to join in. We're going to have another one, as I said, tomorrow at 3. That one is about engaging your customer base. And then the other one on Friday, which is about evolving in the opportunities. So I look forward to that. So if anyone has any questions, or comments that they want to make, I'm opening it up to you guys. I see there are a couple of other persons on it. So if you feel that you wish to ask a question, feel free to do so. Let me just check what's going on in the chat. Okay, I understand that the live address of the Prime Minister, he's competing with me at this time. Yeah, that's okay. The Prime Minister address is still going on, so persons are taking in that. And of course, I can understand. That takes priority. But the thing about it is, not that I'm telling you not to listen, the information is constantly being repeated. Take personal responsibility. Stop congregating. Wash your hands. Back to basics. This is personal hygiene, people. This is personal hygiene. This is what your parents should have taught you. Okay? Wash your hands. Sanitize. And I mean, soap and water is the greatest thing ever. It's better than the hand sanitizer. But when you're mobile, moving around, the hand sanitizer may be best. So if you don't have access to water, you use the hand sanitizer, or you can carry water in your vehicle and soap. There's liquid soap. I know. So, you can still do these things. And I mean, it's all of the diseases, all this crisis sending us right back. Love, compassion, be our brother's keeper, or for those of us, our sister's keeper. Hygiene, personal hygiene. Okay, we are back to basics. The only thing is that as people who are Trinidadians tend to be very, they love body contact, yes. As who it was it Dr. Trotman? I heard in her address, one of those addresses said, touchy, touchy, and somebody, of course, went off on that and crazy. I mean, people just jump on the wrong things, but we are touchy, touchy, feely people, and we tend to show our love and appreciation that way. We hug, we shake, we kiss, that's what we do. That's what we do. That's what makes us who we are. We are Trinis. Come on. But now we just have to be very careful in doing so, given the situation. And it doesn't mean that you don't love the person. It doesn't mean that you love them less or you don't love them at all. Under the situation, your body, your hands is actually can carry the virus or can be a conduit, catalyst, whatever the word may be, for the virus. And so we have to be very careful. So I have been talking for about 41 minutes. I see some persons are still on. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I don't know if anybody has any questions. If I don't need to stay on for this long, yes? Okay, a question is here. Should I create new social media accounts for my business, even if most of my business comes through people I know? Let me see. Should I create new social media accounts for my business, even if most of my business comes through people I know? I'm not sure I understand, because if you don't need to create new social media accounts for your business. Because if you're saying you're creating new social media accounts, it is telling me that you already have social media accounts, and those should have been linked to your business anyway. Or is it that you're saying that you may have personal business accounts, and know that you have to work online or create a business online, that you want to create a more professional profile? I think that's probably what is being asked. You can create a professional profile, or you can use your personal profile where people have already been engaging with you, and you can let them know that you have created a business page if you wish, but your simple personal profile can work. What I would suggest to people is creating a LinkedIn professional business page there. Some people have a company page to have a company representation, but your personal business page can work just as well on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, I would suggest you go and set up a profile there, because that's where the professional business community is. That's where collaboration, jobs, a lot of other things exist in a professional setting. Instagram and all those things are good, but some people have said they have gotten business from it. If that works for you, do so. Pinterest is also another one where people have gotten business. You can do so. Test it out. Try it. There's nothing wrong with setting up these accounts and testing it out to see what it brings for you. And if it works for you, it works for you. It all depends on the nature of your business and your target audience. If your target audience is more on LinkedIn or they are professionals, you have to look at that, because everything is dependent on that. Who is your target audience? What is the profile of your target audience? And then you'll be able to decide what type of account you should use. For me, I use my LinkedIn more than ever. And well, my Facebook is there. And of course, I have my podcast because I have a radio show online, Between the Lines. So you can just Google that with my name and you will see the link to my radio show. And persons can also connect with me there. So I have different ways of interacting based on my audience and the way and what I offer in my business. Yeah, so I'm into PR and communications. The people that I target will be, let's say, socializing or congregating online in certain places. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Is there any other question? And thank you for that. I think that's quite informative, and we can even go more into that tomorrow. I think that's a nice segue to discuss for engaging your customer base tomorrow. I think that's a very good question. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, so we have 15 more minutes again to go. Yeah, if we have any more questions, I'm available to answer that. And of course, I'm inviting you again to check out the website. Sign up for the webinar tomorrow and Friday. Don't lose out. It's going to be quite informative. This is not a scripted, as you can tell, webinar. I don't do scripted webinars. I talk from my heart, and I think that's the way to go. To talk from your heart, talk from my personal experience. And I hope that what I've shared so far has added value to you and can add value to someone else. Feel free to share this webinar with others, so they too can be blessed with the information. They can, even if it's one nugget that they take from it, I appreciate that. So taking responsibility for your future means the onus rests on you. You cannot point a finger at anyone else. You have to take responsibility. You have to be accountable, take responsibility, and face yourself. When you look in the mirror, you're not seeing anyone else. You just see you. Yes? So you want to be able to look in the mirror and say you did all that you could have done, yes, to put things in place for yourself and for your family. You want to be able to say that. Plant those seeds of greatness. Yes, plant those seeds of greatness. Yeah. So if there's no other, then I'm not going to keep you longer than ever, just to keep you here. So I'm going to wrap up now and ask you to, as I said, register for the other two events. Just a reminder, feel free to reach out to me. My numbers on my website. Yeah, my numbers on my website. If you wish, I don't want to give out my email publicly, but you can check it on my website and reach me via my website. And if you have any questions, I know some persons may be a bit timid, but there's no need to be, to ask the questions that you want to ask. There are no stupid questions, let me just say. There are no stupid questions, because the same question you want to ask is exactly what somebody else wants an answer to. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else I can share with you, except just do what you need to do and follow the instructions given by the relevant authorities. I think we are so educated on this virus that, we are so educated on this virus and crisis. And the thing about it is, like I said to someone, we have coronavirus dealing with now, but AIDS and Ebola and Zika and all the others are still around. Whatever they may be are still around. But we tend as a mind to focus on what is in front of us at this point in time. So you're hearing coronavirus, corona, but the other diseases are still around that can definitely kill you. So be responsible in your behavior, attitude, your comings and goings, your dealings with people. Don't think that it's coronavirus, and when coronavirus is finished, that's it. No. Everything else is still around, and you're supposed to be personally responsible. Okay? Personally responsible for your other aspects of your life. Physically, spiritually, mentally, psychologically. It's not only about coronavirus right now. Everything else is still around, so you are required to be personally responsible. Okay? Something I was going to say and it slipped out my mind. I am being told thanks. Definitely not going to be the same after day 7, 14, and 21 as I am at day 1. That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, you shouldn't be the same. You shouldn't be the same. Okay, something was in my mind a while ago and it just went out of my mind. I hope I remember it. So, we have to be thinkers. We have to do what is right. Do the right thing, people. Just do the right thing. Do the right thing by you. Do the right thing by somebody else. Okay, and put things in place. Put things in place for your future. Take responsibility. That's all I could tell you, really. Check out the website. See how best I can help you in the services I provide. If you're looking to go online, have a business, and you want to discuss with me, jump on one of the webinars. Bring your questions. I love questions. Bring it. Challenge me. I love the challenge. Bring your questions, and let's see how best we can help you. Reach out to me personally. Don't be intimidated, because that is a limiting belief, and you're sabotaging yourself when you keep your questions to yourself. And you think, oh, I don't want to ask that, or people are going to think I'm stupid. I'm not calling the names of the persons who are asking the questions. Ask. Somebody wants to know, and it's also educational for me. You'll be surprised how much I learn from you when you ask your questions. So register, jump on. I would love to have feedback from this webinar, because from the feedback, I'll be able to learn and grow. As I said, I'm not just telling you this for you. I'm telling myself this as well. I'm telling myself this as well. So when I teach you, I'm also teaching myself. Yes. So take responsibility for your future. Don't get comfortable. A crisis brings opportunity. Set yourself up for a lot of things that, just think of the what ifs. Right now with coronavirus is a crisis. It could be a tsunami. I'm not calling it, but I'm saying it could be. What if? It could be anything. Set yourself up in times for times of crisis that you can bounce back. Always be ready to bounce back in a time of crisis. Not down. Even if you're down, you'll get up. You get back up, because wallowing in the crisis, wallowing in your sorrows, or whatever you may be going through at the time, it's just all in your mind. Believe me, it's just all in your mind. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself you're going to get through this, because when you look back in the past, I am sure we have all, and I mean, I know it has happened to me. We have all gone through things in our lives, and we are like, we look at it now and we're like, I'm still here. I'm still here. And I'm better off. I'm stronger. I am bigger and better. I survived. So if you survived that then, and you're still here to talk about it and testify and share with somebody else, then Corona cannot get you. Then a crisis cannot get you. And what you need to do is put a plan in place, because without that plan, you don't have anything to work with. You must have a plan in place, a chain of command. What can happen if something happens to you or your business? Have a sort of chain of command. Yes, look at the ODPM's website in Jamaica. I too am going to look at it after this webinar. I hope the plan is still there. I remember it being there years ago. I don't know if it's still there, but either way, you can Google disaster plan, home disaster plan, some sort of plan to help you to start customizing something in place, whether for debt, disability, loss of job, anything at all. There are plans that you can put in place and discuss it as a family. Your home as a family now. Sit around the table. Use the dining table as a place to come together and put a plan in place and say, listen, should something happen to me, let's face it, what are we going to do? Ask your kids to be part of the process. This is where family is supposed to come together and really discuss these things. Should I lose my job? What do we have in place? Let's start working together to put something in place. Take responsibility for your future. Take responsibility for your future. It would mean setting up an account that you don't touch, whether it is in the credit union, wherever it is, insurance, whatever it is. Start sitting down around the table. You have the time with your family. Engage the children. Let your children see and know what's going on. Don't let them stay behind their tablet and tom-tom and play games and stuff. This is real, and they must be part of the process. They must be part of the decision making. Not because they're children, they don't know. Let them be involved. You'll be surprised the kind of suggestions that your kids are going to suggest to you. This is the time for family to come together. It's an opportunity, people. It's an opportunity. Sit around the table with your kids. Get that plan out. Even if you don't have a template from the ODPM or wherever, or Google, just sit with pen and paper and say, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. We are facing a crisis. Should something happen, there could be any other crisis that could happen to us. Let's talk about all the possible crises that could happen. Death, loss of this, what and what. Just talk about it. Probably even somebody getting so sick with cancer, and then all the resources have to be poured into that. Emergency, what you call it now? Emergency surgery can't be done here. It have to go abroad. Where's the money coming from? All sorts of things. Yeah, somebody's saying here, kids are the next innovators, naturally imaginative. Don't stifle their thoughts. Don't stifle their suggestions, and don't say, no, that's not good. No, it's a good idea. Put it down. Right? Put it down. Don't stifle them. Sit around the table with your kids, your family. Okay, now is a time to gel, to come together, to pray, to use the time wisely and have a plan. Like I said, at the end of 14 to 21 days, you're supposed to be better off. Not worse off, better off. What do you have in place? You should be able to wave that plan to people and say, hello, I sat with my family, my kids, and I came up with a plan, you know. A disaster plan. I'd be like, a disaster plan? What do you mean? That is for ODPM. That is for whoever. It'd be like, no, we are supposed to take responsibility for our future. And you can tell them you went on a webinar and you heard that from Corinne Lafont, yes, from Lafont Associates. And tell them you have a disaster plan, and you can have several different types. And you can have a chain of command in your own family. The mother could be the leader for this, right? The father could be the leader for another plan. So he's the first in command, then the mother takes the second in command, then the eldest child may be third in command. In another situation, it could be the eldest child taking the lead, be in command. And then the next child, if you have 3 children, the eldest, then the second, and the youngest being in command. And you have to keep updating these plans as they go along, because remember, they're getting older, they may have moved on, they may be going to school, so you may have to change the persons who were the lead, the second in command, the third in command. You may have to change. Your spouse may have passed on, lost a job, whatever it is, and so the chain of command may change. So put a plan in place. Take responsibility for your future. I'm seeing include the family. Different opinions make for more complete products and services. Exactly. A family business can come from this as well. A number of things can come from this. You have the time. You have the time. Make use of it. Make use of it. And I was wondering how I was going to end up in my last 15 minutes here online. And I see I only have 2 more minutes left. Yes, in spending the hour with you. And I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah. So use the time with family to sit down. Somebody needs to initiate it. Somebody needs to have those hard, tough conversations to bring up topics that nobody wants to discuss, but somebody has to do it. Why can't it be you? Why can't it be you? You take the initiative, pen and paper, back to basics, pen and paper, and sit with your family and say, listen, I want us to have a meeting. You could discuss it over pizza and soda. You could create your own pizza at home, call in the pizza. Don't go for the pizza, delivery. Or you could create your own pizza as a family as well. Make your own pizza, make it an activity. This is the time to really engage. How I can say these things? Because as I said to you, I lived in Jamaica. I've been through several hurricanes. So I know what it is to be at home, with your kids. Everybody's in your face. It is not an easy thing. It is not an easy thing. And I know you're thrown into a situation where you're facing the husband and wife and the kids and you're going mad. Don't worry, you will survive this. It's all part of your mind working against you. Find creative ways of dealing with it. Um, I know some people may be laughing at it and it sounds funny, but it's really not a joke. As much as you love your husband and wife and your kids and you want to spend as much time with them, there are times you just really don't want to be around them. You know, especially when you feel like you're confined. It's so funny that when you are told that there is a crisis and you can't move, something happens to us where we feel that, oh my God, I can't move, and you suddenly go into a panic. No need, no need, no need. Make use of the time. So my hour is up. I enjoy the time I spent with you. I hope everything I said has offered you value. I appreciate you. Think about what happened today. Come with your questions for tomorrow. We're talking about engaging your customer base. Bring your ideas, bring your suggestions, bring the tools, bring the resources that you're using. Let's help one another um, to really take responsibility for our future. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 3. The link will be shared, will be sent to you for that particular webinar if it hasn't already. So just keep posted on my Facebook page, LinkedIn, Twitter as well, and through the website. And for those who personally know me, I will send a link to you as well through your email or whatever means. Yes, if we're on WhatsApp. So thank you so much for being here, for sharing your time with me. I thoroughly enjoyed you. Hey, Candice, it's great to have you. I appreciate all of you, and really, let's all survive this. Yeah, we can survive. We will make it. We will make it. We will make it. Have a great evening.